This comment is in regard to the video I did about the jaw off wagon or off jaw wagon or whatever, the incident that occurred recently in a bar in Chicago. And I'm mutuals with Mandy, and I hated to hear that it happened at all, but I really hated to hear that it happened to Mandy. Having said that, and I'm not trying to say this to be weird or odd or I didn't, and I'm not definitely not a clapback. It's just it's easier for me to say it in video format than type it. I didn't do this for Mandy. I did it because I have a wife, 3 daughters, 2 granddaughters, on top of aunts and cousins and mother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, and whatnot, what have you. I did it because I look around at the people I have in my life and I go, what if that happened to somebody that I know? So I try to put it into a lens of, I heard some people defending that guy, right? For the life of me, can't understand how anybody did defend him. I guess I'm not. I'm having trouble putting into words. It wasn't to be a man calling out a man. It wasn't to defend a woman that is a victim of something that a man did. I did it because I look around at the world I know and go, if that motherfucker touched one of the people I know, I'd want to beat the fucking life out of him. If he did to any one of my people what he did to Mandy, I would want to punch him in the head until my fucking hand broke. And because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I haven't been some guy over the course of my lifetime when I was younger that wasn't constantly in pursuit of getting laid. Because I was. I absolutely was. And I have been rip-roaring drunk in my time. And I can't imagine doing that. I really can't. I can't. Listen, have I probably come on too strong for some women? Yeah, probably. Hell, I believe I came on too strong for the woman who's currently my wife. But I can't imagine doing what he did. I just can't. Like I said in the video I did, I've been with my wife for 30 years, almost 30 years. And she's grabbed me and I've grabbed her, and we're gonna grab each other some more. But we also both, but from my perspective, for the purposes of this conversation, I kind of gauge that subject, that situation. Is she in a mood? Is she having a bad day? Did she just get a bad phone call? Is she pissed at me for something? And then once again, I look at it from the standpoint of, dude, on top of, you don't ever do that, right? You just don't fucking do that. On top of that, or in addition to that, you have, not only do you not do that, you don't do that to your goddamn friend. You don't fail to take the accountability for it. And dude, you're fucking married. You're married. If you and your wife have an open relationship, that's you and your wife. If you and your wife have a poly relationship and you bring people into the marriage, that's you and your wife. But those people have to be consenting. And something tells me this wasn't a come join me and my wife situation. This is a I'm a few states away from where my wife is. Let's do this situation. You know, I just when I think of situations like this, I do think of about people like the victim, in this case Mandy. But what I try to look at it through is the lens of what if that happened to what if that happened to my fucking daughter? What if this guy was in a bar in Chicago? My daughter sometimes tends bars in Chicago. Now, she has a location that she works predominantly, but there are going to be times when she's moving around to different locations, whatnot, maybe gets a summer job tending bar somewhere. What if this asshole is in the bar that my daughter is tending, and he decides to get frisky with her like that? Now, I know what's going to happen. She's going to drop him like a sack of potatoes. But you know what I mean? That's the lens I look at it through. This motherfucker did this in a bar in Chicago. That could have literally been my daughter. It fucking sucks that it's Mandy. It sucks that it's anybody. And it really sucks that it's somebody that, like, when I say we know, I know Mandy, I've been mutuals with Mandy, but I don't know Mandy. We've never hung out. I do consider her a friend, and this really fucking sucks. But I do tend to look at it through a personal lens and go, my wife, my daughter, my sister, any one of my sister-in-laws, any one of their kids who are now of going to bar age. Yeah, it just, when you look at every single layer of this story, there's nothing. At least I can't see anything that's even remotely good or decent at any fucking level. Right? You assaulted a woman. You assaulted a friend. You betrayed a friend's trust and traumatized that friend. You failed to own what you did. You failed to take accountability for your actions. You appear to be trying to minimally sneak out of this. You attempted to at least fuck around on your wife. You've destroyed what was a credible reputation. I've used some of his videos in some of his content in my videos, and I know people are going back and they're taking down their videos of it. The content that I used his videos in is still valid content with valid points, just because he's a scumbag. I don't feel like I'm a man holding another man accountable. I'm looking at it as a father, as a wife, as a grandfather, as a brother-in-law, and I'm looking at this motherfucker going, what if he did it to one of mine? I would want to rip his fucking larynx out and show it to him. The fuck were you thinking, man?